being recorded.
What's going on, guys? So for those who don't know me, my name is Tyler. I've been cutting hair since 2012, and I'm based out of Utah. Today we're going to be going over a mod haircut in this JRL guest artist class. I want to make sure you guys have all your mics turned off just so we can everyone can hear the class going on. I want you guys to make sure that your screens are turned off just so it can maximize the screen, everybody can see visually. Any questions you have, make sure they're in the chat. My guy behind the camera will relay them to me, and we'll answer all the questions that you have. And we're also going to be doing a giveaway at the end, so make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff. And then if you guys come in later or miss anything or have to leave early, this will be on a JRL website, so you can check out later on as far as the video. Yeah, can I have a mic?
Just ask if the mic is good.
Is the mic good, guys?
I think it says a little bit.
Oh, it said it was a little bit low. How's the mic now, guys?
Make sure if you have headphones, put some headphones in.
Yeah, if you have headphones, guys, make sure you have some headphones in. Let me know in the comments how the volume is. Make sure it's all right.
All right.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I want to kind of go over what we're going to do kind of map it out first, just so you guys can see visually here. Then I'm going to go over the tools that we have, and then I'm going to get into the haircut demo. So the haircut, like I said before, we're going to be doing a mod haircut. We're going to have a disconnected fringe, which means just the bang area. Fringe, bang, same thing. It's going to be disconnected from the rest of the haircut. And then we're going to refine with some personalizing and texturizing techniques. The techniques we're going to be using today are razor cutting, shear cutting, twist cutting, channel cutting, and slide cutting. If you have any questions about any of those, make sure you drop them in the comment section or the chat. So the sections we're going to be using are a center profile section, a radial section, horizontal and vertical sections as far as the haircut. Elevation we're just going to be using 180 and 90 degrees as far as our elevation today. And then as far as layers, we're doing like a basic square layer haircut. Cool, so I'm gonna kind of map it out for you guys. So our expanded shape, like I said, is gonna be square, okay? I am not the best drawer, you know, I'm a hair cutter, so don't judge me on my drawing. So that's our expanded shape. This is gonna be our elevation. Can you guys see all right as far as the diagrams? And then green is going to be our cutting line. Banded shape on the sides. What was the question?
No question.
Okay. Everything is going to be very square. Okay. Again, the purple is our expanded shape. The blue arrows are our elevation, and the green is going to be our cutting line. So from the front view, this is how it's going to look. Okay, and then the side view, same thing, straight up. And then again, the blue is our elevation. And this is starting at the apex, okay? Coming straight out. And there is some slight graduation here just because of the previous haircut he had. So it's actually going to be longer here. And then gradually towards the nape, we have some slight graduation. And again, green is our cutting line. So from the side view, that's what it's kind of look like. Yeah, and guys, if you can, just keep your webcams off just so we can maximize the screen so everybody can see. Appreciate it, guys. So on the top, we're going to be doing some twist cutting. I'm going to use red. So we're going to have some twist cutting right in here. And we're going to have some vertical and horizontal sections. Okay. I'm going to just do kind of like a squiggly for twist cutting. Okay. Looks like a G, I guess. This is going to just help us create texture inward. Because we don't want to create texture outward because then we want to have little hairs that stick out. So we always want to build texture inward. It's going to give us kind of some unevenness, some staggeredness to create some cool texture. So any questions on that? Like I said, we have a square layer elevation that we're going to be using 180 and 90. We're going to use center profile section, a radial section, and horizontal and vertical sections for the haircut. And techniques we're going to be utilizing are razor cutting, shear cutting, twist cutting, channel cutting, and slide cutting. It's going to be a mod haircut. Very similar to like a crop haircut, but it's going to be longer on the sides. So we have some length on the sides and back. And some slight graduation towards the nape. So any questions on that? Is everyone pretty good on that? Any questions, Rubio?
No questions.
Nope. Okay, so we're going to move on to the tool portion. So the tools I'm going to be using today, obviously some JRL tools. We got the JRL 2020 clippers. I love them. Like I was saying earlier before we started the video, I love that they get through bulk super good. I also love the runtime. So it's probably my two favorite features, me personally, is the runtime and just getting through bulk is super good. Same thing with the trimmer. I'd say the runtime and getting through bulk. When you're making the bald line, just gets through super easy. Oh yeah, we can show them. So these are what they look like. And what was that question we had in the tool earlier?
Oh yeah, so the question we had earlier from Hope was, do you prefer the fade blade or the taper blade more, and why?
Okay, I prefer the taper blade. It's just a preference thing. I do a lot of C stroking, right? So C stroking is anything where you just kind of scoop out. And so for me, I just kind of prefer the taper blade because it just kind of naturally does it with the taper blade. So me personally, I prefer the taper blade, but they have a fade blade as well. So it's kind of a preference thing. They both get the job done. It's just kind of like whatever you like best. Then we're using some shears. I have a variety of shears here. My feather razor to create some like staggeredness and some texture. Got some combs. I got a wide tooth comb, fade comb, and then a cutting comb. So these are the combs I'm going to be using. Just like a wire tooth comb, fade comb, and some cutting combs. Then we got some Hunter 111 products, 114, excuse me. I'm using the whiskey aftershave, it smells so good. If you haven't tried, you guys gotta try this. It smells so good. Then we have the sea salt texture spray, which I'm gonna be using a lot of, especially to create some like grittiness in the haircut. Obviously water, and then the Hunter 114 fiber gum, which I like as well. I'm gonna kind of use that for piecing during the haircut. Then we got my JRL guards, and then we have a face shield just for like hairspray and things like that. And then I have my cape and my mirror. Also, As I was saying before, we're going to be doing a giveaway at the end. I'm going to be giving away a cut above the rest hat. You zoomed in? Cool, cool. There's versatility on the back. Got to stay versatile. We got a straight razor. We got some cut above the rest goodies, a sticker, little keychain, and the new pens that I have. And then we got a JRL cape, and then some Hunter 114 freshener. Got to stay fresh, you know? Cool, cool. Any questions on the tools, guys? Any questions in the chat, Rubio? Okay. Cool. So we're going to move on to the haircut, guys. This is my awesome model, Connor, right here. Just going to drape him up. I always prefer to drape in front of the client. Just my preference. I feel like when you drape and kind of whip the cape, any hair that's left on the cape from the previous client will get in the client's face, you know? So I always prefer to come forward when I'm draping the client. Thank you, Zay. And when I'm putting on the neck strip, I always put it in the front. That way I have both my hands free at the end to clasp this together. Cool, cool. So I always start off by saturating the hair. I like to work on the top first. It's kind of what works best for me. And when I'm sectioning, I like to use like a section catered to their head. As you guys can kind of see, Connor's crown is up and to the left. You guys see that? So if I was creating like a horseshoe section or something, this will be my starting point, and then I will go to each recession. So I make custom sections to the head because everyone's head and calyx and everything are different. So you want to make sure it's fit to that head. I usually get the haircut pretty wet. I always joke around and say I'm giving my client a free shower with their haircut. I just want to make sure it's all saturated because if you have some dry pieces and some wet pieces, once it all dries, it's not going to be even, right? So you want to make sure it's all saturated.
All guests have been unmuted. All guests have been muted. You can unmute your line by pressing *6.
Are we good on the view? Yeah, just this like center area. I'm working on the top right now. Okay, so make a center profile section. What that is, it's also known as a mohawk section. It's just a section right down the middle. I use the eyebrows as kind of like a focal point. So I start from one end of the eyebrow, come down, use the wide teeth to comb the section, and then my fine teeth to comb away. Same thing on the other side, I use the opposite eyebrow, use the wide teeth, and then my fine teeth to comb away. I'm not going to be taking off too much length because Connor's growing out his hair. But I'm going to start right here where the shortest point is. I said we're kind of creating like a square layer. I'm going to just come in and we're going to razor this. I take a piece of my previous section, add it to my next section so I have a guide. I see my guide right here. I'm going to extend that straight out, keep it square. See, we have some uneven pieces. Again, taking a piece of my previous, adding it to my new. I see my guide, creating that straight across. And because this is a round head, right? Well, I said like everyone's head's not round. Because the head is round, right? We're gonna have longer pieces in the crown, and then towards the front of the hairline, right? And that's, for me, I prefer that because a lot of times with the crown, if you go too short, you're gonna have hairs that stick up, right? Because when hair is shorter, it wants to go in its natural state, its natural direction, and so it's gonna stick straight up. So I like to preserve that length in the crown. The feather razor's a little dull. Okay. So now I'm going to use that center profile section and extend it outward to each side. I'm going to comb it to this side so I have that guide. Elevate straight up, and then I see my guide right here, right? Do you have another feather razor, Zay? Once I'm done with that section, I'll move on to my next. You don't want to take sections bigger than about 3/4 of an inch. If you do that, you're going to start creating over direction, right? And so you're going to have longer pieces and shorter pieces. Again, just making a straight line straight across. And you always want to make sure your client, their head's straight up, right? Because if they're tilted down or something, you're going to have some over direction there. You want to make sure they're sitting straight up. Okay, so now once I'm done with that side, I'm going to use that center profile section and move it over to the left so that we can work on that side now. Again, wide tooth of the comb to section, fine tooth to comb away. Your fine tooth is going to be good for gripping the hair, especially for cutting when you want to create good tension. Any questions so far? We doing all right, guys? Okay. Again, guys, just looking from the guide from the underneath. I mean from the, not the underneath, from the middle, and making sure that we're cutting straight across, keeping that square layer, right? And the front looks pretty good. Okay, now I'm gonna just go back and double check, kind of cross check it, make sure we're all good. And there probably gonna be some pieces over to the left. That looks pretty good. Some long pieces right there. That's good. Okay, so now we're gonna create some spacing. A lot of people will say, I want my hair textured, but what exactly do they want? It's important, especially in the client consultation, to figure out what exactly they want, because there's different techniques of texturizing, right? So if he wants more spacing, I'm gonna be channel cutting, right? If he wants more like unevenness, you could do a couple of different things. You could like point cut. If you want more like visual texture, obviously you can do it deeper or more of a steeper angle. So it really depends on what the client wants, right? So today, Khan's let me do whatever I want, so we're gonna do whatever I want. But we're gonna do some channel cutting and create some spacing just so I can show you guys how to do that. So usually you always want to channel cut in the direction of the style. So if you had a side part, you're gonna channel cut that way, right? If you channel cut the opposite way, you're gonna have hairs that stick out. It's not gonna look good. A crop or mod cut is an exception. You can kind of go both ways or one way or the other. But usually you always want to go in the direction of the style. But since we're trying to create a lot of visual, messy texture, I'm gonna go both directions and I'm gonna show you how I do that. I'm gonna come in first, channel cut, just to create spacing, some movement, and I'm just sliding through the hair. I'm not doing a full chomp. I'm just slightly sliding through the hair, okay? Can all you guys see that? And you're not taking a bunch of hair out, right? You're just creating some spacing within the hair. And if you wanted to, you could go, like I said, go this direction and this direction. I'm just gonna go forward. But yeah, well, this is an exception to the rule, right? That's usually to the style of the haircut. But for this one, it's an exception. Okay, so now I'm gonna be doing some twist cutting just to create some more like unevenness, some staggeredness, some different shorter pieces and longer pieces. And so I'm gonna do a square section just a little bit above the crown because I don't want to mess with the crown because if I create some texture there, it's gonna stick straight up, right? And it's not gonna look good. So almost basically just like almost like a radial parting. And for those who don't know what a radial parting is, it's just kind of going from like either the back or the top of the ear and just going straight across. Okay. So yeah, I'll do this side view. Any questions? Are we still good? Okay. What cities we got in here? Where are we tuning in from? We got any local Utah people? I know we got Georgia and a couple other places. Pennsylvania, New Hampshire. We got someone for anywhere else? New Jersey in the building. Nice. What's up, Edgar? Okay. And then same thing, I'm gonna Utah in the building. That's what's up. Okay, so now I'm gonna just do some twist cutting. I'm gonna make sure I don't touch this or this. And you can use your shears or a feather razor, whatever you want to use. In this case, I'm going to use my shears. And make sure when you're twist cutting, you want to twist cut inward so that you're building texture inward. If you build it outward, you're going to have those hairs that stick out, right? We want to create that uneven staggeredness in the center, okay? The Netherlands. Yo, that's awesome. Heck yeah, Vegas in the building. That's our neighbor. That's what's up. So when you're twist cutting, you want to start about like mid shaft to end. So again, I just twisted inward, so I'm building texture inward. I'm just go about mid shaft. And the same thing is like channel cutting. You just kind of want to slide your way up, okay? And if I'm using a feather razor, about mid shaft, right? And you're just kind of working your way up, okay? Then we'll create some smaller pieces and some longer pieces. Same thing, we're going to be twisting inward now. Anything from the left side, we're going to the right. Anything from the right, we're going to be going to the left. About mid shaft. We have some pieces. We got some longer and some shorter pieces, okay?
So Jackie Daytona says the old school Cosmo term for that is palm tree cutting.
Oh, that's cool. Palm tree cutting. That's what's up.
So say Jackie Daytona.
Jackie Daytona. What's up, Jackie? Thank you for that. I haven't heard that one. It was called, what'd you say it was called?
Palm tree cutting.
Palm tree cutting. That's dope.
Old Cosmo term. That's
super dope. Hey, I'm learning today too. Heck yeah. Okay, so we've done, just to kind of recap what we've done so far, we did that center profile section. We extended it to this side. We extended it to this side. We did some point cutting and feather cutting to make sure we have some staggered ends, create more messiness. This is a more messy hairstyle. We kept the square shape. This is like a square layer. And then now we're going to work on the fringe and the sides as well as to connect the back, okay? Whenever I'm doing a connection, you can connect it 3 different ways. If you want to connect the top to the sides horizontally, you're going to build up weight, okay? So you're going to have more weight. If you connect it vertically, you're going to release weight. And connect it diagonally, you're going to do direct weight, okay? So you can either do diagonal forward or diagonal back. So diagonal forward would be this direction, diagonal back would be this direction, and then horizontally would be, I'm sorry, yeah, I'm getting my horizontal and vertical mixed up. Horizontal would be this way, right, to build weight, and vertically to release weight, okay? Today we're going to do a horizontally to build. We want to keep a lot of weight and texture up here, so we're going to connect it horizontally. So I'm going to do a center profile parting, so not a section, center profile parting. It's the same thing, you're going right down the middle. Again, I use the eyebrows as a guide, or the nose kind of in this instance. I'm going straight down and using the fine teeth to comb away, okay? And I'm going to section off the fringe because I want to keep some length there. I'm going to mess with that afterwards. And how I section that off is I'll do from the apex to each recession. So you can kind of tell where the apex is just by putting the comb on the head. You can kind of see where it starts to wobble, right? So I know about right here is where the apex is going to be, his highest point, for those who don't know what the apex. Okay, so you go from the apex to the recession. I usually look for where the recession's at. I'll put my thumb right there, and I'll find my recession here. I'm sorry, my apex here. And I'll kind of connect those, and then I'll part it away. That way I have that fringe or bang area secure. Okay? So to the recession, to the apex, okay? We're gonna do it from the opposite side. Same steps. Going from the apex, I find where my recession's at with my thumb. Go to that thumb, pinch it away. And then I have both recessions. I'm sorry, both sides of the fringe sections off, okay? You guys can kind of see that? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to find where my length is at. Okay. From the underneath. I usually use a comb that has like a measurement on it. I'm very precise when I'm on my cutting. I like to make sure it's like exact. And so I'll use a comb that has some kind of ruler or something on it. I know a lot of people go by the eye. That's definitely not me. I like to make sure my connections are precise. Like I said, I'm just cutting off a little bit because he's growing his hair out. We're just, say again, cutting that horizontally to build up weight. Oh, got to pump him up a little bit. Any questions, guys? Okay. I'm just going to do this around the entire head, okay?
Tonya Losser
Yeah.
said, I did not catch why you parted to the apex in the front.
Okay, so the reason that I had this section in the apex, I'm sorry, in the fringe area from the apex to the recession is because I'm going to mess with that later. With this haircut, we want to have a disconnected fringe because we want to maintain length and everything here. And we're going to kind of mess with it at the end to create kind of like a unique fringe. Okay. And I'm actually going to cut the back. A lot of times I'll use the sides, I'll build up horizontally to build weight, but a lot of times I'll connect the back vertically. So again, I'm going to use a radial parting. Get my other comb. Okay, so I'm going to see my guy that I just made, and I'm going to connect it vertically back here. And if you want to be precise, right, you can do like a center profile section here, and then comb it away and then pull it out. For me, I kind of just go across the head one way and then kind of cross-check it back the other way. Either way works. Okay. Cool, cool. You guys can already kind of see like the texture and messiness already. I'm not going to take a bunch of length off of his fringe because I really want to maintain that. But one way I like to release weight here is I'll come at an angle. And I'll see where his fringe stops. So this lowest point right here, right? So I know I don't want to cut anything shorter than that. And then I see the guy from the top. Sorry. So I see that lowest point that goes to his eyebrow. And then I see my square layer up here. If I ever want to release weight here, I will just use that guy and this guy and just cut through. Then when it lays down, it's not going to lay so heavy, right? If you want a more heavy fringe, then you're not going to do that step. But if you want it to be more broken up, you're going to break that up like that. Sometimes what I'll do with people who have kind of like receding areas that are really bad, I'll only do that in the middle section where it's darker so it looks the same as the side pieces. It's not about making it even, it's about making it look even, right? We're creating a custom haircut for each individual, working with different canvases, right? So I see that guide from the bottom, just a little bit. And I see my guide from the top. I just cut down so that when it lays, it's not going to lay so heavy. And then again, I see my guide, cut down so it's not going to lay so heavy. Cool. I'm kind of look what I'm working with as far as the sides and the back. I'm sorry, the sides and the front. I like to kind of like frame the face a little bit. Can they see all right? Just point cutting right. It's going to be just above his eyebrow. Just kind of cutting at an angle. Can you guys kind of see how I'm framing that right there? Cool. So now I'm going to dry it up a little bit. And then I'm going to use my JRL clippers to kind of get around the ear. I like how it's wispy in the back. That's usually what he likes to have. I'll kind of show you how I do that. So I'll just use like a feather razor and I'll make sure the area is wet. because he doesn't like to have like a blunt line. He likes it more natural looking. And so kind of you hitting it with the feather razor, we still have that square shape, but it looks more staggered and natural, right? So you can come down. And because it has the guard on there, you don't have to worry about like hurting the skin or anything. Because it has like that guard on there, right? Can they see? See how it has that guard? That's why earlier I was able to hit my thumb with it, because it has that guard. So I don't have to worry about hurting myself. And sometimes I'll come in a little above, break it up a little bit up above. Just to lighten it up a little bit. And you see how right here it's a little bit lighter? I'm not even going to touch that area. I'm just hitting the areas that are more dark. That way it kind of looks all the same. Because again, like I said, it's not about making it even, it's about making it look even, right? Every head and every canvas is unique.
Jackie D20 says, where do you buy your blades for the feather? I got mine on Amazon. They're like dollars a pack.
To be honest, I get them from the school that I work at because I get a discount. So that's where I get mine. But I haven't tried Amazon before. I haven't got them at Sally's either, no. I guess I just usually get mine at the school because I get a discount, you know? Got to get the best deal, right?
Anthony Flores says, shut us out in the house, OTEC.
OTEC? That's the school I work at. Ogden Weaver Tech. Cool. And once it dries, we'll kind of mess that up a little bit. Make it kind of messy looking. Okay, so I'm gonna dry it. I'm gonna apply some sea salt. So the Hunter 114. Like I said before, it's gonna create like that gritty, messy look, right? Kind of like when you went to the beach and you have like that kind of like beachy, like salty hair. It's kind of the same effect. And I want to make sure the hair is damp. When the hair is damp, it's gonna help distribute the product evenly instead of having one area that's just like oversaturated, right? Cool. So now I'm going to use a diffuser. And kind of dry the hair. I'm going to get it like a little bit dry first. Almost like a pre-blow dry. Just so I don't spend too much time drying. Then I use my diffuser attachment. You have this with any blow dryer. I'm going to do medium heat, medium speed. I'm doing these kind of looks. I kind of like to make like almost like a C-stroke motion and kind of help lift the hair up, give it some volume. So it has like these little spikes right here to kind of help kind of get it more messy. And I also kind of use my hands almost like a claw and just kind of grip it to do the kind of same effect, just kind of help it give volume as well as messiness. It's almost like a wide tooth comb as well. You guys already start to see like the volume that we're creating, the messiness. If you ever want to create any more like personalizing techniques, his fringe isn't super heavy or anything. But if it was and I wanted to create like some like slide cutting, I could just come in and slide cut some pieces. But it's not super heavy, so I'm going to kind of leave it and then use my product to kind of piece it together. I'm going to use the Hunter 114 fiber gum. Cool. And then I'm going to just use that, take a piece of it, and kind of piece it in my fingers. You always want to make sure that you kind of distribute it evenly. And so I kind of get it throughout my whole hand. Because if you just have it on that tip, the first place you're going to touch is going to be way oversaturated. So I'm going to use my claw / wide tooth comb, create some more volume. And then I'm going to start piecing the hair. And I love that he likes to keep his like sideburn area long, create some pieciness. I love that so much. Looks awesome. Get that little nice wisp. And I'm gonna kind of piece the top. I just kind of like twist to piece it. Put your head down a little bit. Can you guys see that all right? And then once I'm like running out of product, I just kind of rub my hands again to get some more in my fingertips because that's where I'm applying. I'm using my fingertips to apply. I'm kind of already seeing the places that are already separated with the sea salt and the blow dryer, the diffuser. And I'm just like accentuating that. Just kind of make it even more pop out. And you always kind of want to go in the direction that it naturally wants to flow. Just like how the hair naturally wants to go, just kind of go with it, you know? If you fight against it, I promise you it's not going to come out the way you want. And if you ever want like a certain shape, you can always use your comb and kind of just level it off, right? If you want it to be all at one level, just kind of slide your comb and you can kind of level it off. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my JRL trimmers to get this back area. I want to make this back area clean. Do you have a paper towel? Oh, I got one right here. You could leave it shaggy if you wanted to. Me personally, I want to make it more clean. I'm gonna comb the hair out to like towards the ear, and then just use my trimmer. These are the JRL trimmers like I was saying before. You guys all see that? I love the power these have. These have like so much power. The other thing I love too is just like how quiet. Do you guys even hear these? They're like so quiet. I hate sometimes trying to teach a class and then I just have trying to talk over a clipper, you know? I love those people that have ears that just kind of move any direction you want. It's hard. You guys ever have those clients that have like those ears you can't move at all? Dude, I hate those. I feel like I gotta like elbow and like trimmer at the same time to hold it down. That is a great question. I want to say it's like 2 hours, but don't quote me on that. I have to look it up. Mine never dies, so like I'm like good throughout the whole day. I just use them the whole day, then put them on the stand at the end of the day, and I'm good to go. So I'm doing the same thing on the opposite side. Can you help them out there? The same thing, we're just creating that straight line. Oh, 4 hours in the trimmer. Oh, wow. So I guess you have 4 hours on the trimmer and the clipper. That's crazy. That's why I never have to charge them throughout the day. That's way nice.
No, so that's good. So clippers, 4 hours, and the trimmers, 2 hours.
Oh, the trimmers are 2 hours. Okay. Okay. And a lot of times I like to use the wide tooth comb on the sides. Just to create like some separation and movement. You guys can already kind of see that. And I'm gonna go back and fix that.
Yeah, 11:26.
Okay. I'm gonna just check in the mirror real quick, make sure I like it. Cool. I think it looks pretty dope. What do you guys think? You guys liking it? Connor's nodding his head, he's liking it. Connor always jokes around, he's like, man, I can't get it like you do it, man. I guess he has to hire me, huh, to come in his bedroom every morning and get himself ready in the day when he gets rich, right? Any questions, guys, on that? Yeah, no questions? Okay. So I was gonna use the clippers on the sides, but it's already really short and he's trying to grow it out, so I'm not gonna mess with the sides. You can't even get much movement out of it because it's so short. So we're not gonna mess with that. But just to kind of recap, if anybody's just now joining. So like I said, this is a mod haircut, right? We did a disconnected fringe because we wanted to like make this a certain type of length, just above the eyebrows. We refined with personalizing and texturizing techniques, right? We use like the twist cutting or the palm tree cutting, I believe one of the people were saying. We did razor cutting as well as kind of point cutting at the top to kind of have those staggered ends. Then we did a square layer, right? We made sure it was square. And it's already cut previously square, but we do have some graduation towards the nape area. We did 180 in the front and the back, right, to maintain that square shape. We actually rounded it off in the front to make it a little bit less heavy. So it's more round here, so 90, and then more 180 here because we just over directed everything up to keep that kind of more of a square shape in the back. We have length in the crown. We did the sectioning, we did the center profile, we did the radial, we did some horizontal sections, and then we actually didn't do any vertical sections, but vertical would be this way. Well, actually, we did vertical in the back. So we did the vertical sections in the back to connect the back. And yeah, any questions? That's kind of diagrams like I was saying before. And then we're gonna do the giveaway. So the giveaway, I'm gonna be giving all this stuff away. I'm gonna post a picture on my Instagram and just comment JRL, and we're gonna do like a generator, like a random name generator. We'll put all your guys' tags and we'll announce the winner on my Instagram. So you can follow me at Tyler Kelbert, @_ Tyler Kelbert on my Instagram. Make sure you guys follow JRL if you're not already, as well as Hunter114. If you guys have any questions after this, you guys can hit me up on my Instagram personally, DM me. Whenever I have some time, I'll make sure to answer any questions you guys have. Any prepping? So no, this is the only model I could really find at the time. Everyone's pretty busy. I wanted to do like a haircut where I could do the sides as well. But like I said, this is the best model I could get for the short amount of time that I had. So I did not do any prepping, but this haircut was done, I want to say about a month ago. And like I said, he's trying to grow it out, so I didn't want to take too much length off. I just kind of want to show you guys some texturizing techniques as well as some layering and things like that, just to kind of get you guys on that. So. Okay, so we're going to stop the recording as far as the JRL website video, but I'm going to stick around a little bit if you have any questions. Like I said before, you can hit me up on my Instagram as well.